Okay, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Den Crew, Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition of the Acquisitions Incorporated. Now, for the previous session that had transpired, the group had decided on what to figure out what to do for basically what their involvement is in town, and well,
Had you babs.
And they decided that it would probably be best to possibly leave. And as they were leaving, on the road they had briefly encountered, or at least near encountered, a ogre, which was kind of face-hugging, petting with a direwolf. Which at the time, there had been rumors of this ogre being sighted, or at least was somewhat known, as this particular ogre had a name. The name of this ogre was known as Stuzant, who apparently 5 years ago used to live in the town of Phandalin, or at least was more associated with the individuals who lived there. Of course, figuring out as to why this ogre was more actively out and about and away from the town, well, was for two reasons. One, because it was mainly keeping the dire wolves away from the town so no one would get eaten by them, which would explain the livestock situation, as rumors as for why it was disappearing from what the party had at least heard of. And the other reason was because apparently Stuzant was hired by someone who had involvement with the manor that you all were to investigate. While two of the individuals of the party had talked their way through what may have been a fight, the other two decided to beeline the entire situation.
We stealth out. We stealth the heck out.
At least maybe, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or an hour away, who knows at this point. But upon their journey along the road, they had noticed someone approaching towards their direction. The individual seemed to have red hair, a thin handlebar mustache, as he's almost looks like what looks like a green vestments with a cloak on. And he does have weaponry on him. You probably see like maybe a basic dagger, a rapier. You would probably just say that's definitely a swashbuckling type of individual, which is where we are today. So, we'll start off with Aura and Bolgan, as this is the last thing you saw as you were walking.
As far as I remember, me and Bolgan were kind of off to the side somewhere playing cards and discussing things. And me seeing this guy on the road at like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, just, you know, walking along his merry ways with seeming to have no care in the world. Aura doesn't want to be anywhere near that. That might be the assassin. That might be
exactly.
like he had no insignia or anything on him, so it's like I would rather not have to deal with this individual if I don't have to. I'm just watching this guy, and from what I recall last episode, I rolled like, I think it was a 12 or something, to see if I could see any insignias or anything on his person. So it's like, he's not marked, so if he's not with a group, he's by himself, still traveling happily alone after nighttime on this road.
In the dangerous woods.
Well, the other thing you do notice on him is he does have a satchel on his side.
Well, that just means he's been traveling for a bit.
But, and let's see. You know what? Give me a perception roll.
Okay. Oh, frick. Which one? Which one? Screw it. Green filigree. Okay, that's cocked. That's better. 19.
Okay. Now, while the individual himself doesn't seem to bear any sigils, the bag he does carry does seem to have the Ack Inc. logo, or at least you would think it's an embroidered design. I mean, you've seen different fashion satchels and bags, but it's like, with the way on how the satchel looks at this, it almost looks like the design is in the bag itself, and it's like, is that the AI insignia? I've never seen it like that. Why is it so different?
Maybe he's old school.
He's got the, what's it called? Members only satchel.
You mean like that fighters, that pilot's jacket from back in the 80s?
Or the other one from what's his name? Michael Jackson. They had the special edition stuff.
I kind of quietly point that out to Galdor. Or not Galdor, sorry. Bolgan. Wow. My apologies.
Galdor.
To Bolgan.
Time and space.
I point that out to Bolgan, and I kind of like, just kind of lean closer to him so I can whisper. With, you know, we're probably far enough off the road so the guy might not hear us, but I'm not taking any chances. Looks like Ack Inc. Do we want to?
Damn time.
Do we want to go and tell him anything? I mean,
if I saw two random people walk out of the wood line this time of night and approach me, I'd probably fight first, ask questions later. Don't know. Maybe we should follow him back. Then again, that might also seem like a kind of a bad choice.
We could announce our presence. But magic users might have weapons on them too. They might shoot. I don't know. Does he seem on guard?
Can you send that psychic talking ability to him?
I could, but I don't know how he would react to us.
Well, it's better if he doesn't react by shooting us immediately. If he doesn't know where we are to shoot us immediately.
True. If he's within range, I'm gonna try to throw a message at him.
Okay.
I think I want the tree line to explode.
And it's just gonna be like, hello, traveler, are you the messenger Ack Inc. is sending to, what the fuck is this town called?
Ye old plot device.
Portugala? I can't remember.
town of shattered dreams.
Yeah, pretty much. My character probably remembers the name of the town.
Honestly,
It's
I think
not-
you only
it's
got
not in
told
my
when we
notes.
first got here.
Yeah,
I never wrote
true.
it down.
I wrote it down, but my notes are a little bit scattered. But yes, that's what I'm going to ask and say. I am going to mention Gilda's name and stuff like that, so he knows that this is a acquaintance that is involved with Ack Inc. Hopefully, in my message.
We're just interns. I can get you a frappuccino if you need it.
Okay, so you send him a message with that message. He kind of stops in the road, looking around, and what was everyone's self check earlier?
23.
Couldn't he reply to that?
Yeah, he can reply to it.
Okay. He hasn't chosen to reply yet. How
Yeah.
long is he? Yeah.
As far as I remember, it was either a 22 or a 23, and then Noble's was one under mine.
Yeah, I actually have advantage on stealth, so I actually rolled pretty high if I remember correctly.
I have expertise in stealth, so
Yeah.
that definitely helped with it.
It was enough of the time to get us past 2 dogs and an ogre.
Also, they were distracted, so I think
Yeah.
that helped.
At which point, after he looks around before answering, he's like, "And who might you be?"
Part of the intern party that was sent here a few days ago.
"Oh, where are you?" As he's looking around.
You know, now that I think about this, like the more that I think about this, somebody having that sigil on their
Yeah.
bag is equivalent to us carrying around the Drawn Enterprises armor. They could
Oh
have
god, I
gotten
didn't even
it
think about that! Oh no! I got 2 suits of armor! Mind you, they were way too small for me anyway.
They're way too small for us, yeah. But still, you know, what's enough to say this guy didn't kill the messenger and is coming down the
He's like, "Man,
road?
this is a nice bag."
I mean, I don't think it is, but part of me is like, that's still an option.
He's got nothing but severed ears in the bag from all the acquisition employees that he's taken out.
Oh my god. You know, screw it. I'm gonna chance it. If I die from sheer stupidity, it's not my fault.
I'll follow suit.
I slowly stand up, arms up, showing that, you know, I'm not going for new weapons or anything. Make my presence kind of known.
"Oh, what? Oh,
Hi.
hi.
How's it going?
Oh my. You're a big one."
Stand up behind her. It's like, oh. I'm really sneaky.
Yes. Hello. There's a reason for why we're out here.
Oh, well, do tell.
It's not what you think. I mean,
We're not totally running from our duties. No. Out of character. Okay, so slowly, and I mean snail's pace, start to go towards the road. Hands still up. Well, yes, we started to run into a couple snags in the town, you see. We were able to send a message. Hopefully Gilda did send that secondary message. However, considering how much time it takes to get from point A to point B, it wouldn't necessarily matter at this point. And I tell them everything.
Okay.
I tell them about what information Larry told us that we are privy to, because we don't know the new information yet.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them about the note, and I indicate that I have the note in my possession, but I'm not about to reach for it while, there's a possibility he might shoot me.
I'd probably come out of the woods by now, too, carrying the 2 suits of armor.
I tell him about us trying to find information on the mansion and the cleaning crew and the other group that showed up while we were leaving.
I present visual aid of the suits of armor we collected.
So just, I try to give them as much information as I can recall.
I see.
As you can see, we clearly felt that we were over our heads just a tad, and being as I did not want to potentially cause even more issue with the town for us being tracked by someone putting out a hit on us, we thought it was best to leave the town for a bit and try to work out some ideal plan before continuing forward.
If you don't mind me asking, I don't think I got your name. What was your name?
What is my full name? 1 second!
Could be a great time for an alias. Stormwalker, the destroyer of worlds.
And Bulga's name is Pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak the Mighty.
I know.
I'm just picturing it. This is Buffoon. Aura.
Oh. At which point you actually kind of see him reach into the bag. It's like, let's see, where is that now? Here we are. And he pulls out what looks like a few pamphlets of paper. And he goes through, it's like, Aurelius.
Aurelia, but sure.
And let's see, and goes through, it's like, and you must be Bolgan.
Yeah.
He goes through it more, it's like, well, where are the other 2 companions?
Possibly.
What?
Not really sure. There were 2 direwolves and a troll. And
No.
Oh,
we
yeah.
only know about the one direwolf.
There was a giant troll hugging a puppy.
Ogre,
yeah.
There was an ogre and a direwolf that was sitting on the pathway of the road, and while me and my compatriot here decided to try to find a way around a potential threat, our companions seemed to go full front of discussing things with them. As far as we heard, there was no discourse violently. So we hope they're still alive.
Indeed.
We haven't heard any scuffles.
I mean, a dead messenger is a completely useless one in the sense of trying to help inform Akink of what's going on, so...
Well, I would have been here sooner, but I was in Neverwinter earlier.
Wait, isn't you were in a completely different city earlier today? You teleported or something?
No, I walked. I was concluding business there a couple days ago, and I was just on my way down, back to Waterdeep, and then I got. He was at least a day's away.
I'm looking at this person. I am trying to thoroughly look at them. Do they look human?
Yes.
I thought it was a 3-day walk.
Well,
It
from
was a
Waterdeep to you,
It was-
Neverwinter is more north, but it's not 3 days.
So what did he travel diagonal?
Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Best I can guess.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Basically, he was already in transit when he got a message.
Ah.
Which is what he was trying to explain, but everyone kept interrupting him.
Out of character, though.
But in character, it's like, well, I was actually on my way back to Waterdeep when I got a message from Omen himself saying to take a visit stop by Phandalin. There's extra business that needed to be taken care of.
Yes,
He ain't sending an army, is he?
as I explained to you, I feel that where me and my compatriots, our abilities currently lie, we are of no, we have no proper training or abilities that might be useful if there does come to be a breakout of some sort of multiple sources of attack to the town. Not the 4 of us.
We ain't an army.
And
Well,
and those that were a part of Acquisitions Inc., well, you might not have heard the whole story. The people that were stationed there several days back, a week or 2 ago, they're dead, except for Gilda, perhaps the one that left with that pocket watch, and I think that's it.
Yeah, so a larger group of more experienced people got themselves killed. Not exactly high-ranking adventures we be.
The
So,
golden mongoose, as I said, except for Gilda and the other one, were completely destroyed. The ones of Acquisitions that were staying at the mansion in Fenlin are fully gone, at least as far as we could tell. Us 4 feel a little bit overwhelmed in the situation, to be honest. Especially if one of these groups is opening up portals to let out creatures that I couldn't even begin to describe that monstrosity we saw.
Jello that was evil. Lots of teeth. That all I
Mum
got.
of a lot.
Let's see. Well, you mentioned Gilda was alive. Where's she?
She's still in town, as far as I know. She's staying at the inn currently.
And you mentioned armies? What type of footwork are we talking about here? Because I haven't seen any foot traffic coming from Neverwinter.
Well, they would already been here from what we were told.
Yes, we got here and the mansion was already destroyed.
And there was a bunch of farm animals been missing lately. Kind of thing an army would be munching down on some local wildlife.
Between we believe that it's at least 2 different factions. We are not sure their numbers.
I wiggle the armor with the drawn symbols on it.
But considering the amount of damage done and the amount of bodies that we saw in the mansion, we can only conclude they had enough numbers to overpower those that were there.
Well, he kind of ponders on.
Oh yes, I know the ogre's up the road. Just to let you know.
An odd question, but I don't suppose you know of the ogre's name?
No. I Honestly, as far as we heard, my friends never asked for it.
Yeah, we might have been out of earshot by the time the names were exchanged, because that was quite into the conversations last week.
Yeah, we were probably out of earshot considering they went off the road north, east-ish whenever that shit went down and they met up with Larry. Like, I'm pretty sure we were out of earshot by the time that Larry showed up at the campsite for them, so...
Well, I am to head to Vandalin to find out, and as well as to give a proper report. But at the same time, also assess the damages, whatnot. But the other thing is, well, it kind of requires you two to help with something else.
I don't see how we could be helpful at all, honestly.
Well, you mentioned you haven't come across anything else except for the ogre, right?
On this road. I mean, the
Well,
army isn't necessarily going to be waiting on a road.
Well,
The two different sets of, I don't know if they were cleanup, if they were disposal, what exactly they were.
They had acid in a giant glass jar for melting bodies.
To be fair, that was specifically the ones from the armor.
This is true. But my point is, the group did come prepared.
That's weird. Drawn Enterprises wouldn't normally go into our territory like that.
Wiggle the armor again.
Yes, that's the interesting thing. As far as we are aware, I give them what information we have in regards to Drawn Enterprises, but I also kind of, based on what information we have, it doesn't, even if they were to come in, it doesn't feel like they were. Now, mind you, I'm an intern. I do not know much about the ins and outs of Drawn Enterprises or competition regarding them. But we have no concrete or solid evidence that they were involved in the attack. There might be more than two groups that are involved with this. We don't have all the details yet. We do have some evidence that, yes, they are, they were a part of recent events, but not so much as to how much involvement there was. I'm trying to be as, neutral and whatever as possible during this whole thing.
He ponders on some thoughts. Well, from what I would at least understand, well, you see, this is where things get a little complicated for me. Because,
sorry.
Because, it'd be good if I actually was able to talk to Julia about this as well.
I kind of tilt my head. You know of Julie?
Well, originally Omen was the one who sent the message to Julie, and then he told me to meet up with her, so yeah.
Well, we can accompany you up the road a bit, and hopefully the conversation is still cordial there.
Not to mention, we should have flanking if anything goes wrong. Extra set of hands might help out.
Yes.
I'm also
interesting sneak on the enemy if that's ever a situation.
I'm also going to give the information about the group of bandits that used to be there, because as I said, there might be more than one, more than two people involved. And if it's possible, depending on how large the group of bandits was, maybe they had reinforcements or something and came back to the town. I have no idea. But, I'm just throwing out potential theories that Aura has been thinking of for the last, hours, minutes, not week that Nishi has had to think about this, but what?
That's also the idea that the information we're given saying the troll was in charge of the attacking group, and we just came across a troll, so...
Ogre.
You know what I mean. All I can think about is Shrek when I think ogre, so I'll go to troll.
Well,
Trolls are harder to deal with, actually.
Well, in any case, let us make our way then, shall we?
I look at Bolgan.
I grab a big stick and run it through the armor. Yep, this is going on my shoulder again.
I just give him an arm pat. We'll sell it off eventually, dear. Don't worry.
I'd like to make some money.
Well, depending on how the situation works with the paperwork, maybe I might be able to help with that too.
I'd like to buy some armor.
Not quite, but we'll work out that paperwork detail later. Let's take care of this situation first, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna transition over to Griffin and Juliet.
Wonder if they're asleep yet.
So you guys had managed to talk this ogre down and managed to get some rather interesting information about the attack on the town and other things on... Apparently this ogre had been being harassed by someone who had set up some form of shop or using it as a front.
Well, we definitely know that it's Ditch, the head clerk.
Yeah, we definitely know. Jlay wants to burn her.
DM, horrible post question. Is there any way I could have incited his talking of coming from Neverwinter and stuff?
Yeah, he's...
Because I always tend to insight, and I just totally spaced in that moment. Nope, that's an 8. I probably believe him.
I mean, he seems to be believable, even with his moxie tone of voice. So, at this point, what are Julie and Riffin doing at this point? Now, this has probably been... So, you met up... Larry did eventually come up and told you a bit more about what happened earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is that my first initial plan was to, before Larry was here, was to confront whoever was bullying our ogre friend. However, considering what Larry told us, that might not be a good idea. So technically, I do not have a plan at the moment.
Okay, so what we do, we find where this ditch sleeps, we set it on fire while she's sleeping, make sure there's no way out, and we're good.
Yeah, about that.
So the alignment shift to chaotic evil at that point?
Not quite yet.
I mean, that's just one evil act. That's not enough to go full evil unless I burn down the entire...
Or burning a person to death inside a church.
Well, the thing is that we don't exactly know if she sleeps in the church and or if she has a way out other than the front door.
We made our way around. There wasn't anything but windows. You need to borrow those first.
I mean, more like, who knows, maybe there's an underground way out.
We're not there, nobles.
I know, that's why I'm not talking in character.
So yeah, that might not be a good idea. I do wonder where Bolgan and Or are, though.
So Larry, who is with you at the moment, it's like, well, I'm not sure exactly where she went. I mean, I know she goes to that church, or at least what used to be a store or something like that.
Yeah, I heard about it. It was some kind of warehouse, store, something. But somehow, even though the mayor doesn't even, or I mean, sorry, ex-mayor doesn't even know how it happened, but someone named D bought it. So that could be either Ditch, considering it's a D, or Dwan Enterprises. However, Dwan Enterprises might be, at this point, maybe not, considering if it really happened in the way it did, why would Acquisition Incorporated allow it? If it went the legal way, that is.
That is true.
But yeah, on the other hand, we don't know what, if it really was just Ditch, then I have no idea what the plan is there. Because obviously they want to scare the villagers, but why, we don't know yet.
Probably to make it where the villagers don't ask questions about what they're doing.
Kind of strange way of doing it. No, I don't think that would work the way, because there would be much more efficient ways to do that. I'm afraid we don't have enough information yet about what Ditch's plan is. We just assumed that it was a plot from Dwan Enterprises, but maybe that might not be the case. On the other hand, what was Dwan Enterprises goons doing up there afterwards?
That's a good question. I think the only way we're really gonna find out is maybe go back and just do a little investigation. I mean, it's not the best idea.
Yeah, no. At the moment, I was hoping to draw out our assassin friends that might be behind us. However, considering we haven't actually seen anyone yet, unless they for somehow got Bolgan and Aura, which would be weird, considering they just up and vanished.
Yeah, where
You-
did they go?
At
I was
which
about to-
point,
I was about to say they saw us go to the tree line. I was like, nope, they didn't see us go into the tree line. We stealthed the fuck out of there. They probably didn't see us. We were there and then we were gone.
Well, we might have seen you go up to the tree line, but then
What
we
was your
didn't see
passive
you anymore.
perception?
It's like that Homer Simpson backing into the bush and just disappearing.
I'm more saying we were together. We could have seen you at least going to the tree line. Then you disappeared.
I
You
don't
don't have-
know.
You don't have a hide
I-
in plain sight yet.
I have dark clothing and it was night and we were all kind of focused on the ogre, so I don't think we were looking at each other at that point.
Okay,
But
fine.
it's neither here nor there. Like
I was,
either way, like me and Bolgan went to the tree line and then we were gone. So
Yeah, my character was thinking, oh, they are going to flank if things go sour.
Lo and behold, they were long gone. They left us.
we honestly thought you guys were also going to try to sneak.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I was thinking maybe Jule might need backup if at that point. Because Jule went first, going towards the yoga, not really doing a
She
good
rolled a
job
natural
sneaking.
1.
Yes,
She thought
and
she was
that's why,
stealthing.
and that's why I followed her.
But you didn't roll. You said you weren't stealthing.
No, I wasn't, because in my opinion there was no reason, because she was allowed.
but and
All eyes would be on Jule because he was so loud. Even if I didn't roll, I might have actually blended in.
But regardless, though, so some time passes as Bolgan Aura, you basically, I think at this point you are on the road, and at which point the ogre, she kind of goes off the side of the road.
Okay.
So, how come the ogre is standing? This is out of character. How come the ogre is standing so close to the road? Are they trying to scare
Because-
people off, or?
Well, that was the point why she was there. Yeah, kinda.
Not to mention, she was also originally looking for a place to stay, like, originally, because
Yeah.
she didn't want to be too near town.
But at the moment,
But the
Ditch
road's
ordered
perfectly
her-
fine.
No, Ditch ordered her to scare off / kill anyone that would go to.
But I thought you guys explained that she didn't need to do that anymore last episode.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I thought you guys went off the road to sleep.
Camp. I thought you went to
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah, that's
But we're
basically.
still near the road.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, at this point, though, Aura and Bolgan, are you traveling on the road into?
I would say
Probably
we're
tree line
we're
beside the road.
probably about, what would you say? We're about maybe 10-ish feet behind the dude.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure on him anyway.
Yeah. So that's why
Okay.
I want to keep a little bit of distance.
He's just.
I lean over to Ariel. I'm like, is this guy serious? I'm kind of worried a little bit.
Serious about what?
I mean, he doesn't seem concerned about the amount of casualties and the dangers ahead.
Yeah, about that. You remember what I said about my hang-ups with the potential
Yeah.
of this company?
They seem a little screw loose to me.
If that's what it does to the members to make them that callous and uncaring. Now, mind you, I am a very selfish girl in my own right, but even I have some care for humanity. I don't want to become that ever.
Just watching this guy strutting his stuff, walking. Don't want to become this stuff or be like him ever. Like, yeah, he's not a good dancer.
Listen, sometimes you have to dance to the beat of your own music. Though I'm kind of curious as to what the hell kind of music is going on in his head, but that's neither here nor there.
I feel like sea shanties by the looks of him.
Yar har fiddly.
In reality, it's swing music, but that's it. That's not all right. So eventually, you get to the point where you thought the ogre may be. So you can either put yourselves either on the road or near it, or come back from the corner you snuck off at.
Well, if we don't see anybody, I guess look around. Like, I'm not a ranger. I can't track worth shit.
Doing investigation roll.
Yeah. That's cocked. I was like on a 9 and 11. That's better. Oh, 20.
Okay. So where are you searching exactly?
Well, if we're on the road, that means characters up here-ish, right?
Yeah.
I would say just, I don't know, kind of a sweep.
Okay. You notice a bit of traffic here. Two separate types of footprints you kind of find animal tracks which lead directly north, and you see what looks to be some humanoid size heading more towards the right of the road. As far as it goes for how far it goes, that's where a survival roll will be needed. Well, it also depends how far off the road have you guys actually traveled.
Okay, come up here.
Maybe a couple minutes or so.
No, just enough so we can be seen from the road, but we might be able to see the road considering it feels like this is going up. Am I right, or is this going down?
Looks
What?
up.
Yeah, it's up.
Looks up.
Where are you going?
Okay. So I would say just enough so they can. Nobody could see us straight away from the road, but we can still see the road, or at least this part.
Okay, so you think you see some tracks leading off in this way, but you're just not sure.
Okay, so again, still following who's it, what's his face, just slowly, and trying to keep an eye open for assassins,
Ogres,
ambushes.
trolls, goblins. Wait, the goblin's still in the tree.
Kobolds.
I mean, do you go check?
I mean, is this the same area with the
No,
Undead
All the
horses,
goblins
or is
being
this a
strung up
completely
right
different
here.
this is the completely different area.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm like, man, this place stinks, you know? Oh yeah, them guys are still hanging around.
So, we didn't catch your name, Mr. Messenger.
Oh, how rude of me. The name's Viari.
Viari.
Yes.
You come from the clan of headset?
What?
VR
no,
headset?
no.
I was thinking more like Ferrari, but how long have you been a part of the corporation?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. I've been a couple years now, actually. Matter of fact, the first major mission I actually helped with my first assignments was when I went to the Tomb of Horrors, actually.
Sounds pleasant.
A tomb? Did they send all the interns into the depths?
Oh no, no.
Trial by
that was some.
fire.
No. That was some evil necromancer trying to take the souls.
Well, speaking of necromancers, actually,
It's a funny subject.
I think we should tell him about the horses and the dead dragonborn and the cockatrices and anything
All
else
the
we've.
shenanigans underground.
It's like, did the necromancer use this particular symbol? And I describe the symbol that we found on the dead bodies, and yeah,
The horses.
No, he didn't use that. Although, have you ever heard of the I'm actually trying to remember the name of it. What was the name of it now? Out of character. It was a particular it was a particular curse. The
MacGuffin curse. It wouldn't be the curse that Riffin has, would it?
No, it's
Okay.
not. But he does mention that that the event he was actually dealing with was affected basically every living person. In fact, give me an Arcana roll just to see if you know the name of the.
I know a teeny tiny sort of bit of magic. I learned it very recently. 18.
You think about it, and it's like the spell plague curse, or at least that's what it was originally given.
You are really
Essentially-
very nice for me today. Thank you,
Essentially,
guys.
essentially, the curse, what it did, it originally affected people who were originally brought back from the dead. Essentially, what it did, it essentially kind of tore at the individual's well-being. It reflected scars that had been how they'd been killed. So if you were an individual who was for whatever reason hanged but was brought back, the scar of you being hung would remain constant, and day after day of suffering from this curse would eventually bring an individual to death.
So they're dead. They got brought back, but then they die again.
Yes. And thinking about it, it's like, That's a very powerful curse that could affect the entire plane of existence. This is nothing in comparison to what you think got Riffin.
Yeah, I have no clue what Griffin's curse is, other than he told us that he was cursed, but he didn't give us the ins and outs of the curse because he also didn't know what the hell it was. And it also doesn't tie in with the necromancy stuff that we've seen because they just stand up and attack.
And all their meat falls off.
So, roughly at this point, Riffin, you were keeping watch of the road, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Let's see, the only light source as of right now would actually be Viari, so give me a perception roll.
I do not need light.
I mean, you can only see out to a certain range, though, even with true sight, right?
120 feet. I see a lot.
Well, regardless, though, you see foot movement on the road.
Okay.
There's a giant centipede approaching.
I'm going to get a bit closer. Quietly. So I might need the stealth.
Alright, give me a stealth check.
Which is disadvantage because because of the armor I'm wearing. Okay, let's just say that I trip and fall down the hill.
How bad was it?
It was a 6.
Yeah, my passive's a 13.
So, you make an attempt to get a closer look at who is currently on the road and explain how you fall upon your 2 companions and this other individual that is with them now.
Well, it probably was just a root of a tree that I just didn't notice in time. So I trip, I literally roll down the mountain, or hill at least. Ow.
As you see Riffin just slide down the side to the road to you guys.
Oh, it's you guys.
With my lack of low light vision, I probably panicked due to the fact that all I know is something is coming at us fast.
Oh yeah,
Evening.
the ground.
I'm totally in black, so yes.
Practicing your tumbles.
Blah! The hell was that? Did you say rhythm?
That's a riffin.
Oh, I thought it was a freaking weasel or something. Oh,
And that was an accident.
scared
Ah,
the
yes,
shit
the
out of me.
illustrious hill weasel. It rolls at night.
Gotta go fast, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh.
Believe me, it didn't make me faster.
Roll around at the speed of sound.
I mean, I don't know. It might have made you a little faster.
Well,
yes,
orientation-wise, no.
We believe we've we found our messenger.
Ah,
As you see this individual with red hair, and it's like he waves at you. It's like, you must be Riffin.
Where's Jule?
oh, she is fine. She's still up the hill, probably with the troll. I mean,
There needs to be some explanation about this. Why is she with the troll? You should be eaten by the troll.
Ogre. Take a shot every time someone mistakes the ogre for a troll. We die.
Oh, I don't think I'll ever get that name right.
Maybe they took care of the ogre.
Is she harvesting meat?
Yeah, the ogre isn't as dangerous as you might think.
Well, let's get off the road, shall we?
Yeah, I don't like being
As
out here in the
in-
open.
Apparently, this ogre was a citizen of that little village we were in about 5 years ago.
And why
Nobody
is he
remembered.
now?
Well, I'm not sure, but apparently,
I
a
did not see.
little halfling is making her be. Well, at the moment, let's start
We
again.
should rejoin with people. Let's walk and talk.
Yeah.
Unless you want to roll up the hill.
No.
That's a nice green hill zone, though.
Yes. Anyway, either way, she was a citizen. I don't know what happened, why she couldn't live there anymore. The people got scared of her for some reason. And she's been hanging around the village for all these 5 years. Looking for a place to stay. Sneeze. Sorry.
Patui.
But recently, a certain female gnome clerk is trying to make everybody scared of our ogre friend and is actually bullying the ogre friend in doing bad stuff.
You said she lived in town. Was she like in a giant circus tent? Or was there like just some huge ass log cabin that I didn't notice? Or what?
There was plenty of buildings.
It's 5 years ago.
I mean, I literally could have laid down in her footprint. So, I mean, how big is the
Again,
house?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
There were plenty of houses, and we didn't explore most of them. I mean, there was housing for many of the citizens. We didn't really get to go door to door.
True, but I just wondered if the front door is like the size of a normal house.
As I
Except
said,
for the church temple.
the old one that's destroyed.
The new
The
one.
new one hasn't-
technically.
The new one hasn't been there for 5 years, has it?
It was built.
The building was
Like-
there.
They had to construct the building. I thought.
I thought it was a
No.
building project.
Yeah, like I thought.
Like it was
from
built
what-
on the edge of town.
Like from
It-
what Dan
it's-
said, it showed up. Within the
Well-
last couple years, they needed a building permit for it. So I thought that meant they had to
Actually
build the
constructed.
actual building.
It wasn't a building permit, but
DM.
they did need to build a few things on it, I'm sure. But it was actually some kind of warehouse shop, so it was big enough at first.
DM.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
What exactly?
Like from what we gathered from the information that Riffin and Julie had told us previously, we thought that the building itself was new and had to be
Hence
built
the
and
building
construction
order that they found.
and constructed and all that stuff from the ground up a couple years back, or however long it's been since that building was made.
Hence the building permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the church apparently only was recent or more
Yeah,
recent.
that's why I'm asking the DM.
Yeah, the church was a recent build. The structure that was already there has been there, but it being a church is a recent thing.
Okay, so they had to have a building permit in order to alter the original building.
Rezone it.
Probably.
Is that what I'm getting out of this, DM?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still, though, it's 5 years. If the real building that this ogre lived in could have easily been torn down and repurposed. Anyway, I think we made it up the hill.
Yes, you have.
Oh, you found him.
Yeah, they're still alive.
And Jula, you see an additional person with them.
Who's this guy?
Ferrari.
I believe his
Ferrari.
name was Captain Fancy Pants McStabYourface.
No.
Let's see. You must be Jule.
Yes, I'm the great Jule.
Ah, wonderful. We'll need to discuss a few things in the near future. But it does seem like, from what I'm hearing from your companions, you may be having a bit of an issue with this current thing, which may affect some of the future paperwork involving what I was also sent here. If you don't mind me asking, well, exactly this building that you've been going on about, what exactly is there?
It's a temple of the
Huh?
Coin Maiden.
Really?
Yes, well, I believe it's more of a cover. But it's mostly the head priestess that's the problem. She's called Ditch, and apparently she is not a nice head priest per se. Patsky, you tell her. Them.
Yeah. What exactly what Riffin said. You see, she was originally. She actually accosted me and Stuzant here to try to instill some fear.
I see everybody's speechless.
I just don't know what to say to this.
Speechless, it is. Well, either way, we might. The thing is that we had an initial D that was the owner of the land, but the more I hear, it might not actually be Dwarven Enterprises that is in cahoots with the church per se, but it might also be Ditch that has and with her own agenda.
That does sound like a probable possibility there, good sir.
Either way, we need to be careful around that head priest.
Definitely doesn't sound like anyone I remember that lives in Phandalin. I mean...
No, she came there recently. Or at least not all that long ago. It's still unsure how she acquired the land. Apparently there's paperwork, but the mayor does not know how the paperwork got there.
That's the strange part.
or at least he can't remember having the discussion of allowing someone to buy that land.
Well, if I were to pose a thought, it sounds like you may have stumbled across some type of forgery papers.
Maybe. But again, it must have been more than just a forgery, because they were in the records of the town. So it's a forgery, maybe, but there seems to be also at least a very good thief involved that managed to get it into the records.
Oh, speaking of thieves, do you recall that lovely dwarven woman who we all stopped by to see at the Lion Shield?
Yes.
Yeah, she gave me good books.
No, that was the general store.
Yeah, it's the other one, the
Miners Association. I
The
pull
one I
out
had
the
the awkward conversation with.
I pull out the paper. Apparently, this note was addressed to her.
Huh. Is she part of... Why would she be part of the...
Better question is, if she is a part of it, she has an amazing poker face.
Well... why do you say that? Because we haven't talked about it.
Fiore kind of perks up. Can I see that?
Of course, I hand him the paper.
I'll
Because
look over it.
I tried to talk to this woman in a dialect that I know, and she didn't seem to have any reaction to it, so that either means that this is a red herring and they wanted us out of town, or she's really, really good at keeping her face passive when she hears someone talking in this particular dialect.
Does she need to understand that dialect if she's part of the Zena?
Listen, I'm saying it. I'm saying it in a way, like, I know thieves can't. I have background in that. I don't know exactly what you have background in, but I don't think you have thieves can't. I don't want to give away that thieves can't is its own language, because I feel like that would possibly get me killed. So I'm trying to say it in a way that isn't gonna give away that.
Well, in my line of work, I probably know what thief can't is. I just can't understand it.
Yeah. So, but still, I'm in mixed company. I don't know who knows what. And I don't want to, drop a bomb like that and possibly put a target on my back for something else.
Fake assassins, real assassins. Who knew?
As Fiore's looking at this letter, it's like, that's normally not Sharna's style.
Well, we only had one real interaction with the woman, so honestly,
wait.
hard to tell.
What? Just a sec. The way you said that made that you know her.
Well, funny thing how you mentioned that, actually. You see, I originally came from Phandalin. I grew up from that town.
You don't say.
I mean, yeah.
You're from there?
Well, to be fair, it was kind of my idea to actually try to set up something here after the event that occurred 5 years ago.
You mean with the bandits?
Yes. After the incident with the bandits,
Were you a bandit?
No, I wasn't one of their bandits. But
wait.
So you're not denying yourself calling yourself a bandit?
If you want to go with that, sure.
I'm gonna actually I want to ask him, but I don't want to ask him in front of people. Never mind.
But essentially, it was originally my idea to set up a small group here from Acting to make sure that the town can at least get back to a form of stability. They're very tight when it comes to this sort of thing, and it's a little experimental. It seemed to have been going quite well for a bit, until apparently whatever this situation is that you've all come across. So, I guess I can understand why Omen personally sent me a message to actually come and take care to look into this as well. But as far as it goes for this letter, I'm not familiar with this name. But aside from that, well, I can definitely tell you I'm no Zend.
What?
Oh, you're not familiar with that. You do know what a Zentarum is, yes?
Out of character? No fucking clue. In character? I don't know if I know.
I know I don't know
Probably
anything
best
about
get
it.
from both regards.
Basically, the Zentarum are a faction group. They're kind of seen as a terrorist organization.
Okay.
They go on claims on doing things that are in the name of good, even though they're pretty evil.
They're basically the mafia.
Yeah.
They are very organized.
And as VR is kind of looking at this doesn't seem like a normal thing.
Aura? Okay, Galdor, did you say that in character or out of character?
Out of character.
Okay.
Because
It's
not really a
no,
way to...
yeah, I know. It's difficult to tell sometimes what you say in character and out of character.
Yeah, sorry.
Like,
I don't have voices.
Yeah, like I'm trying to keep it with accent in character.
Yeah,
so.
me too.
But aside from that, though, as he's kind of like examining this before handing the letter back, it's a very shoddy transcript, if you ask me.
So, you think that this is fake, then?
Let's just say it doesn't hold its weight, but...
Yeah, I was getting an off feeling about it myself, but not till after we had traveled this far.
Out of character, is this guy like a documancer or something who can tell this kind of stuff, or is he just kind of giving a guess?
Or based on
You're not
past
sure.
experience, you know?
You're not sure because no one really asked him.
So, in common, I am going to ask, what his specialties are, and in Thieves' Cant, I'm gonna test to see, you know, just exactly like I'm gonna ask in Thieves' Cant if he was in any underground organization.
All right, and what is casually mentioned is, as he kind of like shows his sword, it's like, my specialty is my trade, fencing. And you actually hear a response in Thieves' Cant, and which translates to no.
I just nod. I am a little bit impressed. Yeah, I could never really get into fencing myself. I prefer my daggers. Fencing is a little bit too fancy for my taste. Which I'm trying to get across that I was never really a part of any, like, bad organization. And that I prefer to work solo. Too much bullshit in some of the underground groups. Backstabbing.
And me not knowing what the hell's going on, I used to be a mason. Working with stone and stuff, and...
Gotcha.
See, everybody kind of just looks at me like, what?
Fencing. That's probably why I'm here now.
You fence?
I kinda did, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You never really...
That's what
I'm just looking over Galdor, because... excuse me, Riffin. What kind of sword does he use?
At the moment, a longsword, because that's what you have. But before that, he used 2 axes.
Axes?
Quite the weapon variety.
Oh, God damn it. Freaking music in my head. Just, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
I just realized I had myself muted earlier when you were talking about the weapon skills and your past and stuff. I'm like, and I used to be a mason. Working with stone and stuff. What? Why is everybody looking at me? Oh well.
I just pat his shoulder. Listen, masonry is a good profession. Hopefully you get back into it soon.
Would be nice.
Well, maybe sooner than later. Depending on if we still want to help the town, of course.
Well, interesting how you mentioned that, as VR kind of perks up. Well, I would say it probably would be in good favor if you helped the town. And this is where I actually tend to come in.
Or
You
you gonna
see-
murder the person?
Well, not necessarily. What do you see? What needs to be done is we need to remove whatever threat has bestowed itself upon the town. Preferably peacefully. But violence, I know, can sometimes get a little out of hand, so use whatever means is necessary. Especially for a town that has seen as much damage as it already has. That said, now, going back from what you were saying earlier, though. Now, you mentioned forgery stuff now? Am I getting this right?
Well, I don't at least know if it could be a forgery or not.
Well, have you...
But it's kind of strange that if it's legal, that how it got in the records without anyone remembering it.
Well, if you want my idea, if there is anything that occurs in town that would require significant paperwork, being, I don't know, church or something of that nature, or even normally you would have to requisition supplies if you don't have any, right?
Well, I'm not from the town, so you tell me.
Well, sometimes in order to follow a paper trail, you need to create an additional paper trail. In order to do that, you would have to have eyes where eyes shouldn't be at all.
Your feet?
Well, that's assuming if you're doing the running or not.
So
I think
you
I
think
understand
that-
what you're getting at.
So they probably stationed someone or paid someone off in records
That's a possibility if it's from the town, but whoever this individual is or who they're associated with, they'll probably just run back to whoever it is that they are to go to. But if it's someone in town, then we'll know who our individual is. But now, that's only the main problem. Now, it's after they are removed, as you see him pull out the rest of the paperwork. Now, after dealing with that mess, I'm to assess all the other information that had been transcribed to me from what Aura here has mentioned, as well as the details of that you found in the manor. But the other issue was to actually instating you all. Now, this also officially puts you on the company's payroll too.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Shiftily shifts.
Listen. I understand that there's a procedure, there's company policy, there's things in triplicate and whatnot. I completely and totally understand that. I understand that sometimes people's hands are tied with these bureaucracies. However, and please do not take this the wrong way, after the several weeks that I have experienced while associated with this group on an intern level, I do not necessarily see myself wanting to continue this arrangement. I feel that after we finish up here, it would be best to cut ties, at least for myself.
I got into this thing thinking I was going to be a mercenary. You know, quick money, a little bit of fighting, use my strength, scare some people. I didn't expect to actually be hired on anything. I got places to go.
Well, I know it all sounds unpleasant, which I will admit, there are times when, yes, it's things you don't expect. But at the same time, it's also times when you need to reflect, too.
Reflect on the company not caring about people, or the fact the giant shit monster almost killed me.
I don't know
still have
anything
nightmares about that one.
I don't know anything about any shit monster, I can assure you, but as far as it goes for the company not caring, though.
We're not saying we're not going to help. Obviously, we are still here because we want to try to help. Currently, we're in over our heads, but we are still here because we do not want that city to suffer more than it already has. I'm willing to help. I'm more than willing to help. I'm willing to put all my resources into helping. I do not want to sign my soul over to a company, however, in the process.
Kind of how I'm feeling as well.
But you have my cooperation for as long as it takes to help the town out. After that, I would rather be my own person again.
Well, you almost make it sound like you're signing over to the devil. I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, who do you think I am, Osmodius?
Are you?
I wouldn't know.
I honestly have no idea who Osmodius is anyway. Not a character. What is an Osmodius?
It's one of the lords of the hell.
He is the Lord of Hell.
Are you?
He is higher than all the other archdevils.
I mean, this guy's walking around in the fancy outfit in the middle of the night. It sounds like some devil came down to Georgia to me.
I do not think
Pulling a contract out of the
so
bag. And
poorly. I don't think so poorly of you. Our interactions have actually been quite pleasant in comparison to some of the higher ups in the company. However, I don't like the idea of what it might make me.
I mean, just look how many people died in that building recently. That's a lot of company assets that were just numbers on a piece of paper.
And
even
perhaps
even a general has more care of their soldiers than that.
And perhaps it's kept behind a wall where no one else can see how they truly felt about these people, but I would rather not
Actually-
just be a number.
Actually, I think they care a lot, considering who they sent here. Or at least more than we think they did.
So where's the 300 soldiers and, you know...
No, not in that way. They sent someone that actually knows the town.
What does that mean? I don't see a relief cart full of supplies or, you know, someone here to help bring the dead back to their rightful families. I see one guy who came down the street by himself.
Yes.
That is true.
We don't mean any offense to you, Viari. It's been a rough few weeks, and I'm
I've been
tired
in
of
a
it.
constant state of, are we going to die soon?
He kind of looks around. It's like, I don't see what would kill you.
I gently gesture with both my arms to the giant creature who's standing right there.
I look over to the sleeping ogre and the two direwolves. I look back to Riffin and Julie. There were two.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
there are
oh.
two.
Oh, and that's Stuzant. She's my friend.
I quickly look around and like, is there a third one?
Honestly, at the moment we are in better shape than we have ever been.
Well, isn't that lovely?
We
You
have an
didn't
ogre
feel-
as friend.
You didn't have an ogre
with
with you
dialogue.
underground when you're under that foot before.
Yeah, well,
Either way,
even
if we are supposed to do this tactfully, if we're supposed to do this in a way that will isolate the individual from the town so as not to cause any sort of ruckus, if her other she can't do this alone, there might be other plants in the town that we have no idea what's going on there. We have to isolate her and whoever is working with her away from the town to not cause more
Yeah.
damage. Two
guess it's going
direwolves
to
and
be-
an ogre, I wouldn't necessarily call tactful and discreet.
No, but we have someone who knows the town.
So,
Someone that the town trusts, hopefully.
the mayor.
No,
Yeah.
not the mayor. Our messages friend here.
He waves at you, Bolgan. Viari. Hi. We met.
Yeah. How long ago has it been since you've been here?
5 minutes.
No, I mean, since he's last, stayed in this town long enough for everybody to know who he is off the top of their heads.
Let's see here. It's been maybe about, I would say, at least a year.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember you after a year.
Well,
Let me say this. Bolgan, do you know when you were at home, did you know the people in your street? Or street if the dwarves have streets?
I was going to say, you
in
do
the
know I live with
mountains?
dwarves, right?
Yeah, but do you know people, or did you know dwarves outside your family?
No,
Really?
just the ones I worked
Oh.
with. I wasn't exactly what
How-
you call a people person. Where'd you forget about how I didn't exactly open up to you guys when I
Did you
first met
ever
you?
That's why you came out here, right? To
Exactly.
find adventure and friends?
Yep. Didn't really have any friends back there.
My God, how... I was about to say how much living in a hole were you, but considering you live with dwarves...
It's more of a mountain, really.
It's a big hole.
Okay, how many... Okay.
I live
How
with a
big was
bunch
your
of
family?
orphans. So, my family, yeah, I mean, I knew them.
Yeah, how big was the family?
Let's see.
How many
Maybe
brothers
one,
and
two.
sisters did you have again?
2 sisters and 2 brothers, so 5 kids altogether, plus mom and pop. All of us different races, except for the mom and pop. They're both dwarves.
Okay.
And also, you gotta think, I gotta look down on everybody, so all I really see is hair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're... In that area, everybody would know you.
Knowing
look at
him
this
and
guy.
knowing of him is different.
I know. But... Either way. Okay, Vulcan might not be the greatest person to compare with.
But Viari kind of perks up. But wouldn't you at least say you at least made some friends though getting here?
I smile at Vulcan.
I point at Ariella and towards Julie and Riff, and I'm like, that's about all I managed.
Well,
And we all nearly died together.
Yeah, nothing brings people closer together than experiencing near-death experiences.
We should totally get a shrink together.
well,
Might get a
Sometimes they
group
gotta-
discount.
well. Sometimes you gotta start somewhere, right?
What exactly is the plan here? Go in there, try to isolate her from the others, try to talk her out of her bad ways.
Would you like me just to hold her down while somebody stomps her?
That might be very entertaining.
Honestly, I understand not wanting to go through with violent means if it can be helped, but well, from what these two are saying, that Larry told them,
There's a lot of corpses
Well,
involved already.
Talking about getting her alone. That's going to be very easy.
is it?
Yes.
Out of
How
character,
would-
all I can think about is the Attack on Titan scene with Annie, when they finally cornered her and nothing went the way we'd hoped.
I have never seen that.
Okay.
And how would you recommend calling her out by herself?
Because she is going to come out herself with the idea of talking to the yoga in the morning.
So we got plenty of time to dig a pitfall trap.
However, considering what Larry told me, we don't know enough to safely confront her at the moment.
Exactly my point. We do not know what this woman has, her abilities, her levels, and
So
her associate.
either way, even if we get her alone, we are underprepared.
Well, that's not
That's
necessarily
what-
true, because Ariella has a thing
That's
of...
what I have been saying. That's why I'm saying we need a plan. That's why I'm saying we need X, Y, and Z. And you're telling me, no, we're good. And then turning around and saying, no, we're not good. Make up your mind, Galdor.
I'm saying it's easy to get her out. Because obviously, as long as the ogre can keep up her appearance of helping her, she needs to get her word to her every now and then. Simple. Also, we know that she is away in the morning.
So, Ariel, you got that vial of rot gut or whatever the hell it was, right?
Yes.
You think we could slip that into her drink sometime tonight?
How would we do that?
Well, she lives in a big old place and, you know.
We don't know where she lives exactly. We don't know where she sleeps exactly. Nor do we know where she keeps her supplies.
And she could have her stuff armed with magic.
She could have the place alarmed.
Okay. So anyway, so we slipped in there and put the solution in there, and then she's like partially broken, right? I just stare at everybody like, what?
Just put my hands on his arm.
We
But
already
Food, if
kind
we
of-
ever need to rob someplace, I'm not going to you.
I ain't robbing nobody.
Okay, well,
It would be easier somehow, and I really doubt it'd be even possible to do this, if the ogre wanted to have a drink with her in the morning.
Yeah, it just takes a little while for that solution to take over, right?
I don't
her from
remember.
magic and stuff.
I don't remember. All I know
I
is
want
that
to say they
it
couldn't
it
heal. I know
looks-
that.
it looks and tastes like water. That's all I remember.
but it is constantly boiling.
I thought it was cool to the touch.
It is, but it looks like it's bubbling.
it's still bubbling. It's cool to the touch, but
Add it
for
to
some
soup.
reason...
So we'd have to put it in some sort of carbonated drink.
Or just in a water skin. You can't really look and sue that.
True.
Ooh, I wonder if you can
Oh.
freeze it into ice cubes.
How... Okay. Even if that was possible, how would you do that? We don't have anything cold around here. Unless...
Now look at
Julie,
Julie. You got any
has
ice
some
magic?
kind of super cold magic spell that we haven't seen yet.
I think my ability is lightning now. Darn it, I should have chose ice.
Okay, so here's the thing. Even if ice was an option, you don't think that she would wonder how the ogre was able to not only get a hold of ice, but to keep it from melting?
So back to the pitfall trap.
Oh my god.
And then we throw
Well-
the water in the pitfall trap.
I think the best way to remove this situation is, and at least let me clarify this. There's always a difference between violence and destruction. Destruction doesn't always necessarily mean people. Sometimes it could just mean a structure of a building or an area around it.
So you want us to blow up the church?
You know, I had this rag with some
I like the way you
alcohol on it.
think.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say blow it up, but
Yes, that would be difficult, especially if there are innocent townsfolk that are in there. I do not do good with, what's the word? Friendly casualties?
well, that's why it requires team effort then. I mean,
So burn it down at 3 in the morning.
or at least when no one's available.
3 in the morning.
Or, VR looks at the ogre, it gets smashed down.
Was that your home before?
Do
Where
we
is
have-
the church exactly?
Okay, so none of us have been into the church, into the back room, so we don't know if the sisters live there. We don't know if she lives there. There could be there could be orphans living in that freaking church, and we have no idea because no one's checked the back rooms.
I wanted to. Oh. Oh well.
But this is what you have to work with, though. So, what is it you all do, though?
Do we hire an assassin?
Huh.
We are the
Huh.
assassins.
No, we're not. You might be a pyromaniac, though. I'll give you that much.
Fire is fun.
Us destroying the church is one thing. Us destroying the church when we don't know who, if any, sleep there is a completely other thing. The only thing I saw was one window and a back door.
Maybe we need to visit the church when head priest is out. Because we know there are other sisters that run the church. So even
And who knows if they're her lackeys or if they're innocent.
Yes.
Viari perks up. What did these sisters look like?
Ladies, I think.
Vulcan, just no. Just get out like a piece of jerky or something, some sort of trail ration, and I just
I'm going to try and figure out how to do them card tricks you're showing me.
yeah. Better yet, I'm gonna do something to help distract Vulcan from overthinking.
Okay. I'll try to describe them, but considering I've mostly been talking to Ditch during that time, I don't have too much of a description.
You did
Maybe
talk to the one sister before Ditch showed up with the sermon, though. I do remember that much.
Yes, but only very short, so I couldn't get all the details. So I try to describe her as best as I possibly can.
They do sound like two people I might know, but I'm gonna have to make sure, though. But
That's why I say we need to visit the church when Ditch is out.
out
because-
of curiosity, if you don't mind me asking.
Yes.
Obviously you went there. I'm just a little curious. What type of cover did you use? I'd like to compare notes sometimes.
He said he was cursed.
And I
Yeah.
was drunk.
I was just helping a friend out.
It was.
Did you say something, Eldor?
No, totally not. Let's just say it was indeed a cover.
Well, all right. Well, if you'd say so.
Unless somehow you know how to decurse.
Decurs.
Well, remove curse, you know.
That I am afraid I do not know how to do, good sir.
Okay, well, then, in that case, it was totally.
But you did mention the other church was still there too, wasn't it?
It's in shambles. I've tried
whatever still
to.
standing. Yes.
I've tried to throw some money their way. Hopefully, they can at least get their walls and such back in good order. Poor girl. She seems overworked and extremely tired.
You wouldn't believe the half of it. She's always been like that ever since I've known her.
Has the church always looked like that?
Oddly enough, yes.
Really?
It's a weird mystery, even to the town itself. But it's like, whatever is altered, or at least is attempted, it always seems to remain the way it is. It still stands, still somewhat functional, but it doesn't fully fall. No one understands why.
Huh.
I chalk that up to faith.
Hey, Julie. Hey, Julie. Something to figure out.
Yes, what do you need me to figure out? I like stuff.
Why? Well, were you listening?
Sorry, I had a distracting dog.
Okay. Well, basically, for some reason, the Church of Timora, it's so run down looking because they can't actually change the look. So it's always been like this. But nobody knows why. So it's something to figure out.
That does sound interesting. I want to find that out too. I'm on the case.
Anyway, I suppose what we want to do is what? Cause a commotion in the church while the woman is away. Have everybody in the church get out and then destroy it.
Well, the first thing is that to be sure that the sisters are indeed people.
Even if they are associated with this woman and her ways, even if they're not innocent, they should be put on trial for their actions, not crushed to death in a church.
I know. I'm not saying that. I'm here first saying we need to make sure that they are good guys and not bad guys, so they can know. We need not to be suspicious on them per se.
Okay, so you're suggesting the plan is us recon, see if they're bad or good, isolate them, then go into the church, do it a distraction, cause everyone to leave, and then crush it.
Basically, yeah, because technically they would be the last ones to leave, and if they are indeed good, it might be better to have them secured earlier than just happen. Oh, they were still in the church, or they went back into the church, or whatever.
I'm not going along with a plan that might have people in the church while it's being destroyed.
Yes.
Regardless of if they're good or not.
No, but if Ditch, because if something happens to the church and they think that Ditch is still in there, they might actually run back.
But if she usually leaves for like her daily constitution, then
we ambush her in the middle of the road and kill her.
That's only if they actually know that she's away. So we first need to make sure that they know that she is away.
So we don't just ambush her with an ogre, 2 dire wolves, a swashbuckler, all
Bolgan,
4 of us, and a...
You said you noticed a shorter being going into the church that one morning, right?
Yeah, there's like a short stack of some kind.
And they were using the front door?
It looked like it.
Well, there you go. If she has nothing to hide, then she would enter and exit through the front door. And yes, that could help us take her out of the church, but then she would possibly get away. So the question becomes, do we deal with Ditch first or the church?
Well, that is the question. The biggest thing is that we don't know how to handle it yet.
And I don't believe that us splitting the party, as it were, would be a good idea to deal with someone who apparently can scare an ogre into intimidation.
Well, technically that's not totally true.
Whether it's totally true
she's bullying the ogre because
Yeah, she's
the ogre
bullying.
thinks
Okay.
that the ogre thinks that she is in working for Ditch because she was hired. It's not because the ogre is scared. It's just that
She's
doesn't
still
really like-
intimidated in some way, shape, or form into listening, though. It's still, it still follows suit. Hired or not, if she didn't like the situation, she'd quit and leave. If she is at least intimidated in some way, shape, or form, she wouldn't want to do anything that would make the girl angry enough to cause her harm. And that's still a power shift technique where the ogre is being intimidated by this small person because of their abilities.
Yeah, but in this case, the ogre is a softie.
So, Mr. Swashbuckler, are you like strong enough to take this person down? Do we even need to be here?
To be fair, I've never heard of this individual ever stepping foot in this town, so this is news to me. So I have no idea.
I mean, you're strong, right? You're much stronger than a couple interns.
It's like he doesn't even have muscles on him. It's like, do I look like I have a strong physique compared to you, good
I
sir?
didn't say physique. I mean, could you think you could take on this friendly ogre and the two dire wolves by yourself?
Probably not by myself.
Okay. So, how come Acquisition Incorporated didn't send more troops?
Well, from the way on how you sounded, it sounded like there were at least 300 people.
Why didn't we get more troops then?
Because from it sounds like it's only just one person that's doing all this issue.
That's not
Yes.
what I'm talking about. I'm
That doesn't
talking
make
about
any
we
sense.
sent
If we
reinforcements.
said that we thought that it was a larger group, why would they only send one person whenever we thought it was a larger group before we knew it was a smaller group? That only makes it seem like the Ack Inc. people, one, don't care, or two, that, you know, they knew it was a smaller group before we did.
No, because
We had mentioned
And
the troll before.
and-
Or ogre, that is.
Ogre.
yeah,
Okay.
but
I'm
We
learning
already-
slowly.
VR mentions, well, because since I came from the town, I would know the people, and I've at least seen what is the most, at least current, if not last known instance, as well as acquaintances. I would probably be best suited for that knowledge to help you with.
My point is, we were sent to investigate why money wasn't coming. We told them everybody's dead, the place is burned to the ground, and there may be a large group of people with evil intent in the area. And we got one guy. Now we're wanting to attack with just us. And we don't have anybody coming to help. This seems like an oversight of the corporation.
To be fair, I'm sure that, you know, somebody who has enough power as a singular individual could easily destroy that church, as he is suggesting with Miss Susie over there. But my main concern is what order we do this in. And how are we supposed to deal with Ditch, especially if Larry is worried? Don't get me wrong, Larry's not necessarily the most bravest individual I've ever met, but he has some experience with her, and
I do want to sit on Larry, because he did lie to us.
yes, that is true. That makes me a little bit, irritated, actually.
I trust that little friend.
I don't do well with liars.
Nor do I.
Larry, Petsky, apologize. I suggest it's in your best interest.
I will sit on you.
I'm
You
sorry.
might want to do it, Larry.
I'm sorry. I had to lie. Otherwise, I'd probably have been killed already.
Okay.
What information do you have on her?
Powers, abilities. You gotta know something if you're scared of her.
Well, I know she's really good in combat. That I can at least say for sure.
Like Sitcomers, halberd, sword, and shield.
Magic.
Kinda on. She's more
Poisoner?
stealthy.
Oh, so you mean more similar to my style, but probably times 11?
Well, I guess.
Does she use poisons or ranged weapons, knives?
Daggers?
Daggers, I think, is something she uses. I mean, I saw her carry vials. I'm not sure what they are, though.
No goody.
Do they look red or clear or green? Do you know what color they were?
Maybe green?
Lovely.
So about that pitfall. Yeah, no, it's not gonna work. She probably has good trap skills.
And we're actually gonna end right here because it is getting near that time.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. So this has been a very interesting session. So hopefully everyone has enjoyed watching, and what will happen afterwards is well, time will tell. So with that
Next week?
said, unfortunately, no, not next week, because we will be down.
Okay.
I thought you said that was the 29th.
That too is also going to be 29th. I'll explain after we.
Okay.
So take care, everybody, and hopefully have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.
Good night, guys.
everybody.